Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. I'm Rob the Lord Humongous.
And I'm Shawn the Duke Humongous.
And today, it's me and Shawn, and we got a very special guest on the show today. Jorge Valladares. Did I say that right, or I fucked that up real bad?
No, dude. You're good. You got it right.
Yes! Man, I'm probably do a little more research. No, I'm joking. I actually, checked you out before. Shawn said you're a really good guy, and that we need you on the show. And I'm cool with that. So, Shawn, why don't you fill us in on how you met George?
Well, I think we had a match against each other at the highest in grappling tournament. George armbarred me. And since then, we kind of became friends on Facebook and just kind of been following each other. We'll send a text to see how each other are doing every once in a while. And, our show's called Big Jiu-Jitsu, and I think George is a prime example of a guy who's doing big things in jiu-jitsu at maybe, about 2 years of training? Or
Yeah, I'm at about a year and 7 months right now.
Oh my
okay,
God.
so let's talk a little bit about like how you got started, your background, like why you wanted to do jiu-jitsu, and then maybe we can talk about some things upcoming. So how did you get started, man?
Yeah, so like my very first exposure to like jiu-jitsu was back in high school when I was like 15 actually. One of my friends in high school had been training since he was like 14 or 15, and he would take us in the gym, and back then I was just a football player, like lifting weights, just jock, whatever. And I was like, he was like, I can kick your ass. And I was like, no, you can't. So we would go back in the gym after I get done working out, and he would fucking choke me out. And I was like, well, this is stupid. And I never got into it, in high school. I was like, this is dumb. I don't want to just be touching some dudes on the mat. So I didn't actually get into it till I joined the Marine Corps. And then the Marine Corps has their like Marine Corps martial arts program. So they did, they do some basic arm bars from mount, a little bit of judo, but most of it is like how to kill your opponent pretty much with like weapons and knife fighting, all kinds of stuff. And so in 2013, we were about to deploy to Japan. And so I was living in Fort Worth at the time. And it was about like a month out before we were going to leave the country. And there was a jiu-jitsu gym right outside of base called Genesis Jiu-Jitsu. So I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to do this. That kid used to kick my ass when I was a kid. So let me go back in here and check this out. So I paid for about, I think, 2 or 3 weeks of tuition up front. And I went in there every single day, and I got like immediately hooked, man. I was so hooked. And then deployed to Japan, left the country, didn't get to do much. And when I came back last year, came back in January of 2014, I started looking for a place to train because I was like, I want to do this. I want to get back into it. At the time, I was just going to school. I wasn't really doing anything. So I was like, I'll find a jiu-jitsu gym around here. So I started looking up. And then that same friend, that kid, was opening up his own school. From back then, I was like, he called me up and he was like, hey, dude, I'm opening up a school in Denton, my hometown, but it won't be till April. So I was like, oh, fuck, okay. So then I just went to school and waited around for him to open it up. And then April came around and I signed up day one. And then ever since then, dude, I've been every single day, almost twice a day, up until this point.
Wow.
Man, that's awesome.
I was going to say, you're definitely the type of guy that jumps both feet in then for if you're doing something.
Yeah, as soon as I realized, like, within the first month, I was getting my ass kicked, just like everybody, And I was like, I don't like this, What do I need to do to get good really fast? And you were like, well, you're going to have to do it every day, twice a day, on top of, all the conditioning and film study. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I started doing that, trying to go to school and work. And I was like, okay, I can't go to school, so I dropped out of school so I could train more. And I kept working. And then like a few months later, I was like, well, I can't keep working because it's getting in the way of my training. So I just quit my job. So I was just training full time. And then I was like, well, I need money. So I started selling everything. Started selling my cars, like everything I owned, all my little gadgets and stuff like that to fund even more travel. And then that was that, man, And then I got a job right before I left for California, actually. So, and then I quit that to go to California. So, and now I'm here.
Nice. So it's almost like you're living this very minimalist. Well, would you call it like a minimalist lifestyle just to train, or?
Yeah, very much so, man. It's the jiu-jitsu bum lifestyle, just life of a broke fighter, you could say. But it's awesome because I don't do anything else. I don't have any other hobbies. I don't partake in. I don't really need money for anything else. So it's very, I guess, fulfilling, you could say. I'm very happy. So
that's good. That's really good. So for somebody who has never, there's a lot of discussion. I know we talked about this before between those at like the 97% and the 3% type guys. So so you would fall into one of those 3% guys.
Yeah, I think Eddie Cummings did a really cool interview that I watched on him where he talks about you have, I guess you could call your 97 percenters and the hobbyists, people who are just like looking to have fun, stress relief, whatever. But then you have guys like me who want to be in the 1%, who want to beat the 1%. You know, I travel around to all these tournaments and beat all these people, but I don't care. You know, I don't care about beating those people. I care about beating like the other really tough guys that are like me, that are doing nothing else but training. That's what I care about. So I definitely fall into that, I guess, that top category, along with the other guys, you know, that are doing the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah, what do you find? Because I know your record's pretty phenomenal. I think what you've lost like 3 times, maybe. Like
I've had I have to check my phone real quick, but I keep track of like every single little stat.
That's a man who cares about what he's doing, so there's nothing wrong with that.
So I've had 103 matches and then 9 losses after that.
Holy shit!
And I've only been submitted twice in competition. Once at white belt at Pans, and then another time at blue belt at a blue belt and purple belt invitational against this like 290-pound beast of a monster guy that just, it was a no time limit sub only competition, and we rolled for 30 minutes and I couldn't do nothing to him, dude. I tried, like I took his back, I had him in a triangle, I had him in an arm bar, I just couldn't finish him, man. And I gassed out. He passed my guard and he just put on a north south on me. But yeah.
Happens, but hey, you know, 103 matches, only 9 losses. 2 of those only being submitted. That's insanity, especially for. I like to think white belt and blue belt's kind of like, you know, a crapshoot almost with performance. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. No, and then also like I try and step up as much as possible. Like a lot of my no-gi matches now are in the black belt, brown belt divisions. Like my last 5 tournaments have been in the expert or pro divisions at tournaments. So I've lost. My only other loss, one of my losses on points, a couple of those are to black belts where I lose on points to them, but I've never been submitted by any like black belt or brown belt I've ever gone against.
Damn. So what's the plan then? Is it just going to be continue to do these tournaments, or do you have anything else that's lined up for?
It's man.
Oh shit.
5 years on just training, and reach just a super elite level. And just try and make a living out there in the pro circuit, you know. And then eventually, when I'm past my athletic prime and, you know, settle more into a teaching, coaching position role, kind of like all the guys do, like the Mendes brothers or Marcelo. You know, they went out there and just went on a fucking tear for years, man, unstoppable. And then once they realized they were kind of past their, maybe not even past their prime, because I don't think some of them are, but you know, they went on to something else where they're opening up their own academy and more of a coaching, teaching role. So that's the big end game for me, I guess you could say.
So if your end game for coaching, that would be the final, like, I guess you say, you know, make sure it's not going to be just competition. You have something you can, you know, expand upon, create your own empire, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. You know, eventually I want to just gain knowledge. Right now, like, I feel I suck at jiu-jitsu. I know I suck at jiu-jitsu, but I want to just keep getting better, filling all the holes, you know, learn as much as possible, obviously compete as much as possible, then move into a coaching role. Because I think that's what everyone wants to do is, you know, pass on their own lineage. You know, like you said, create your own empire. So eventually I would like to do that, you know, create my own little team of monsters that goes out there and compete and go through what I went through, you know, have another guy like me that just wants to be a bum and not do anything else. And I'll be there. I'll be like, I was you, man, you know, and help him out and stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, go ahead, Shawn.
One thing I wanted to bring up, I know George does a lot of no-gi and stuff like that, and you've been into footlocks, knee bars, stuff like that, and I think that's kind of frowned upon, you know, at some schools, you know, for blue belt, white belt, whatever. But I know you kind of said some stuff about feeling you should learn it from day one, or
yeah, you should, man. It's just another submission. You know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is the art of submissions. You know, and they're all equal in my opinion. Some are easier to get than others. Some are harder to escape than others. Some are inherently a little more dangerous than others, you know, but they're all submissions. You should be learning them all. You know, it's stupid to frown upon a submission. And I think a lot of that bias comes from, you know, tournaments that don't allow them. So you have schools that are trying to get ready for those tournaments, or their professors or instructors are only competing at these tournaments. So there's never really a need to learn it, because you can go your whole professional career without having to worry about a heel hook, ever. You can have black belts who have been training for 10 years who have never trained a heel hook ever, because there's no need for them to. And that's dangerous to me because you're ignoring like a complete facet of your training. That's like such a huge hole. So like I started training heel hooks with my coach and my professor, and I fell in love with them because I was like, this is awesome. And it just makes you a more complete grappler. You know, people like to call me nowadays here locally like a leg lock guy, but I have so much more than just leg locks is the crazy thing. I go into a match and I expose whatever you're willing to give me. And it just so happens to be that 95% of that is legs. You know, when you go up against someone and you're in my guard, I don't have to sweep you or pass your guard or do anything to immediately start attacking your legs. So why wouldn't you start right there? It's like climbing a ladder. You know, you want to start with what you can grab right then and there would be the legs. So I'll attack his legs. He's got a good leg lock defense. Then I'll try and sweep him or something. You know, if he's defending his legs real well, it's more than likely because he's exposing a guillotine or an arm drag or a sweep or something. Or if he's giving those, he's defending his base real well. He's defending all the top body submissions, and I guarantee you it's because there's a leg that's being, you know, opened for me to take a submission. So I definitely don't view that as a low hanging fruit. And I think it's changing. I think right now we're very much in a leg lock wave. You know, I think it's Eddie and Gary and everyone destroying everyone out there with leg locks. That's what everyone wants to do right now. That's all anybody wants to do is leg locks. So it's good. I think it's good for the sport because it's making everyone train legs right now. So in like a couple of years, when it's a new wave of something else, we'll all be better as a community, you know, of grapplers, because we'll all have studied legs and gone into that.
Yeah, it always seems to be like not really like a fad type thing, but it seems to be there's like you said, there's always something. It's gonna be, you know, like this now area is all about leg locks or heel hook, all that great stuff.
Yep.
You know, for a while back, it was all about half guard or, you know, X guard or whatever you want to get, inverted guard, you know. So now we have, everybody jokes about white belts wanting to learn the berimbolo, but before they can even, you know, pass guard. Shawn can pass guard, and he can do the berimbolo. He can do that as a white belt. He can berimbolo purple belts. I've witnessed it. I've seen it.
Shawn's a beast, man.
Yeah, dude, Shawn's no joke. Shawn's got me with the berimbolo. I mean, that's what he did. But to limit somebody on what they do, it like you said, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So I have some guys that are trying to fight MMA, and they're white belts. But if they go into this match and they see a heel hook and dude heel hooks them, like, but I don't believe in teaching it. Like, what have I done?
Exactly. You got to teach them everything, and people, you know, you got to teach them what they want to learn. You don't know what someone's going to want to get addicted to, or what their style is going to be as they come into the grappling. So you have to teach them everything. You know, you got to teach a little bit of everything and see what people like. And if you have a student who really likes a certain technique, then boom, then you give him his path. You know, especially if you're in a teaching role. You know, it's so important because it's your job to create a path for your students. You know, and expose them to everything, not just what you think is right or what's legal and what's not legal. You have to expose them to everything that's grappling. That's a good point you brought up, like, especially in MMA fighters who are more than likely usually like, you know, white belts, blue belts, purple belts. And if you don't teach them leg locks, that's so dangerous for them because if they do get caught in knee bar or heel hook, I've seen it, or I watch fights where guys get caught in a heel hook and they blow their own fucking knees because they don't know how to roll. They just spaz out and shit. And it's like, man, if you had just spent a couple days learning how to escape, you would have been fine. You could have beat the shit out of that guy, but instead you chose not to do that. Now you're out of training for a year because you tore your shit.
Yeah,
it just makes no sense.
Yeah, so I got a question. You've you know, traveled all around the U.S. At least I don't think you've been overseas yet, have you?
No, not for competing. I haven't.
But from a training perspective, who are a few of like the toughest guys that you've trained with that you're like, oh my god, this dude's tough. I want to take this from your game, or this person put it on me, man. Like they're the real deal. Like who?
Man, as far as competing goes, I've obviously trained at a lot of top level academies, and they've all been awesome. But just someone I faced in competition is definitely I faced a couple of Unity guys. And Morello Santana, man, killer pressure, dude. That guy, I knew Morello Santana has like monster pressure passing, but his students are just crazy with their passing. So the only guy I lost to at American Nationals in the open weight. I got third place there, and then I just lost to him most recently in New York in the finals for my weight class. And I lost to him on points both times. So he's just got really, really sick passing and more of I guess you could say, a strategy than I do. Like a lot of those guys who have been competing IBJJF a lot and they do exclusively, they're very smart about how they play their points. You know, they strategize like how much time is on the clock, whether they're going to sweep or not. They might hold the sweep back or something like that. And he's very good about that. And I'm not so good about that. You know, I'm more of like, I go in there and I'm just trying to submit you, or you're going to submit me.
I like that attitude.
I'm going as fast as I can, and either I'm going to get beat, you're going to beat me. So when someone starts playing points with me, it just throws me off because they're slowing down, they're stalling a little bit. You know, they're not. I don't know. It just throws me off. So it's something I think that's definitely a hole in my game, though. Especially if I'm going to be competing at all these top level IBJJF tournaments, it's something I have to look into is strategizing a little bit more and maybe holding back and thinking more about points, which kind of sucks, but it's part of the rule set. It's part of what you have to do because there's been some tough matches, some top level guys that get beat on points because they didn't strategize enough. You know, they didn't get an advantage where they should have gotten one, or they should have played a little bit smarter, which is it's kind of boring. You know, it's kind of a shitty part about jiu-jitsu, but if you want to win, it's something you have to do, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit more than like wrestling, because I mean, I wrestled in high school, Shawn wrestled in high school, and that was quick, fast, and to the point, much like most of my high school relationships. But, you know, it's but, you know, jiu-jitsu, I mean, you know, wrestling had those 2-minute periods where you got like, dude, let me just finish this shit and get off the mat. Jiu-jitsu, like you said, no time limit matches. You've got 10-minute rounds in some places. Like, that's killer, man. And it's straight. There's no breaks. Like, you have to have a long-term strategy on some of these matches. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to gas out and then.
It's just a different mindset, you know. Like, there's so many different rule sets. If you're going to a sub-only, no time limit, I'm going to be playing a completely different game than if I'm going into a 6-minute IBJJF match. Yeah. It's just going to be completely different. And so you got to, like, adhere. That's why, like, when I'm planning my tournaments, I got to plan them back to back. So if I have, like, a big no-gi invitational coming up or a big gi tournament, I make sure not to do, like, one right after the other. Because in a week, you know, it's not enough time for me to switch my mindset like that. To go from, like, I'm hunting for the submission, I'm hunting for the legs or whatever, to switch back and putting on the gi. And since I'm still a blue belt in the gi, now I can't do any leg locks except straight ankles. I can't do anything, you know. So I got to completely switch my game to just like sweeps and points and staying on top. So it's definitely different.
Yeah, I would say so. So for somebody who's just only a blue belt and facing brown belts and black belts, I'm sure that's made some waves, hurt some feelings, and
oh yeah, dude.
Have you gotten any like offers as far as anything big coming up, like for professional no gi stuff or gi or anything?
Yeah, there's been a little bit. So there's that 10th Planet is opening up here in Austin, Texas, and they're On It is sponsoring. I don't know if you've heard about that, but they're doing the On It Invitational. There's an 8-man tournament with like some sick black belts from all over the country, along with some sick black belts locally here to Texas. So that tournament's booked up, but they're trying to book a super fight for me there against somebody at 185, hopefully. They're just, right now, what they have, the problem with me, another thing is like that they'll have a brown belt or black belt at my weight, but they don't want to fight me because I'm just a blue belt, you know. Yeah. What are they going to gain from beating me? Nothing. What are they going to lose from losing to me? A whole lot.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a very risky fight, especially when they start looking at my videos and who I've beat. Because I've beat some sick guys, you know, some pretty competitive black belts in no-gi. So it's a lose-lose for them, basically. So it's kind of hard for me right now. So I got to just keep winning. So that's still in the works. And then I'm trying to get in on that EBI 5 as well, because it's going to be an absolute division, or the EBI 6, I should say. I think it's going to be in New Mexico, actually. I want to say it's going to be in New Mexico. So I just got to keep winning, keep beating a lot of people, a lot of good people, because it doesn't matter. All these tournaments I've been doing, you know, of course they matter. There's some good people in them, but that's not what gets you noticed. You know, what gets you noticed is beating other really tough guys. Yeah. So that's just what I'm trying to do. So I just got to keep doing what I'm doing, competing, training, and it'll happen eventually. So
I'm sure it will. With only a year and 7 months, and you're already it's gonna happen, man. I mean, you don't have to really stress out too much about it. I think you'll be all right.
I just gotta stay injury free and keep putting the hours in. You know, that's what it's all about. As long as you're on the mat, you're good.
Yeah. So what do you do to stay healthy, rolling that much, and if you're training twice a day?
I do a lot of strength and conditioning, yoga. Yoga's a huge part of it. I do strength and conditioning 3 times a week, and I do, some kind of just cardio conditioning and yoga about twice a week. A lot of stretching, a ton of stretching all the time. Just being real conscious of my body, listening to my aches and pains, taking rest when I need it, not trying to push it. And just really knowing your body. That's like the biggest thing when you start training a lot. You have to be really in tune with your body, and you got to listen to it, because a lot of guys who get into it, they just thinking about grind. You got to grind. You got to like fight through the pain, yada, yada, yada. And then you get hurt, and then you're out. So I try to push it as much as possible, but staying healthy so that I can maintain that level of training, and keeping like that. And then my diet's always super clean leading up to tournaments. It's like I'm 90%, probably vegetables and fruit, very little meat. Try to keep my weight down, keep lean, and just stay in shape. So, what
are your feelings on In-N-Out Burger? Do you have those in Texas?
You took the words out of my mouth on that one.
We do have those in Texas. Usually, what I do is like I have a pretty clean diet throughout the week, and then if I have a tournament, I binge eat like crazy like that day. So like I'll go and compete and try and get that out of the way as fast as possible, so I can spend the next 12 hours just eating like crazy, dude. Like if I didn't have jiu-jitsu, or if I didn't compete a lot, I'd be fat.
Oh yeah,
I'd be super fucking fat because I would just eat. I love food, dude.
All right, so let me throw out a scenario here. It's you, George, and Shawn as well. All 3 of us. Let's say all 3 of us are out, right? Tournament's over. What are we doing, George? Where are we going?
Have you guys heard of Whataburger?
Oh yeah, I was stationed at Hood for a little bit. So
okay, go. Yeah, it'd probably be Whataburger and In-N-Out. Definitely Whataburger and In-N-Out.
Back to
back, and then ice cream. Probably the one thing that breaks me in training is ice cream, dude. If like I'm keeping a strict schedule and I'm good on my diet, been eating good all day, training hard all day, and like my girlfriend will like ask me, do I want to get some ice cream? And I'd be like, well, fuck. Well, yeah, of course. And then we'll go. I'll eat like a pint of ice cream and then go to bed in shameful regret. That's pretty much, that's my weakness, man. It's probably ice cream.
I'm right there with you. Some people just like, oh, ha, ha, ice cream. Yeah, like, no, it's
a serious thing.
It blows. You can get all sorts of. I'm gonna go super we're going ultra fat right now. So it's one of those desserts. You have like apple pie, you have blueberry pie. There are different types of pies. It's just a different fruit. But ice cream can just completely change from like one extreme to the other.
Yes, dude.
That's why I like ice cream.
I like Ben and Jerry's. That's definitely my favorite, dude. I love Ben and Jerry's. When we were in New York competing, I went to the Ben and Jerry's store. Oh my god, dude, I ate till my stomach hurt there. I'm trying to get sponsored by Ben and Jerry's. I just gotta start tagging them and stuff in my training,
Yeah. Well, we were trying that with like my dream sponsors are Fanta and Fruity Pebbles.
Oh man,
I don't think they're calling us back though. Because I don't know if I'd like to thank my sponsors. Like in the UFC, they'll before the whole Reebok bullshit started, but. You had the guys after the fight, they drink from a Zion's can or whatever. I don't know if chugging a Fanta in the middle of the ring would end too well. I'd like to thank Fanta for it, and just chug the bottle and just proceed to throw it back.
Oh, I would. I have a tradition right now. I eat a pint of ice cream before every tournament, like the night before. So I'll fast, clean, and I'll usually eat some ice cream before. And that's, brought me some good luck. Always some Ben and Jerry's for sure.
And you still make weight?
Yeah. I'll cut down. I'll make weight the week before. Yeah. And that's when my diet goes into super strict mode. Another thing I do, 36 hours before the actual tournament, I don't eat anything. So I'm in a fasted state. And I started doing that originally to make weight.
Yeah.
Because I would drop 5 pounds easily just from not eating. Keep drinking water, not eating. I drop 5 to 7 pounds. So I wouldn't have to really cut any weight. And then when I found out 2 months ago how well I would perform in those conditions, man, dude, I started doing it just for that, because my mind was sharper. I just felt like I was more focused, because you don't have any food in your stomach, so your body's not really working on anything, So whenever you get that adrenaline pump and you get those butterflies in your stomach and the blood starts, flushing out through your extremities, I feel like it's able to get there quicker because you have no food in you, so your body's not wasting anything on trying to digest any kind of food. so you're able to fight better.
That's actually interesting because I do remember, like I said, back when I wrestled, we had this real big conversation about cutting weight, and one of the guys says I actually like cutting weight because for that same reason. Like he just says he feels more focused, like he has more. I'm not advising everybody to cut weight,
right?
It sucks, but some people like really works for. Other people, not so much.
I love it, dude. I love it. And it's Conor McGregor did an interesting interview where he talked about that a little bit, where a lot of his workouts are fasted workouts. And, I do a lot of intermittent fasting. So I started doing intermittent fasting like 2 years ago. I don't know if you know what that is, but I only eat once a day. So I have a 4-hour eating block followed by a 20-hour fasted block. So I fit in all my nutrients, all my calories into that 4-hour block every single day. So I'm only eating once a day. So that, I started doing that. That helps my weight a ton. Being able to just manipulate not only my weight, but my water weight. And if I need to cut weight, I can be very precise to lose X amount of pounds in X amount of weeks. Like I can keep track of everything. So it all helps. Yeah.
So let's run. I know you said 90% vegetables. I'm sure this is absolutely thrilling to the audience at home, but I want to know about it. I want to learn about it. So you said 90% fruits, vegetables, a little bit of protein. Like what's a typical meal for you like then in that 4-hour block?
So I drink pretty much all of my meals. With the exception of like if I'm splurging, obviously like that once a week or after a tournament. But if I'm in strict mode, then I'm blending everything because I hate eating vegetables. I fucking hate it, but you have to eat them. You have to eat a lot of them. So I blend everything. Usually I have 2 shakes. Each shake is composed of like,
oh god damn it,
spinach, kale. I mean anything, whatever you want. Usually 1.5 cups, 2 cups of whatever fruits you want. Throw in there. And then I do whatever powder you want. I use this stuff called Garden of Life.
Yeah,
it's like all natural vegetable protein. I use that. I throw a couple scoops of that in there. Coconut oil, and then just whatever little extras you want, and I blend that up and I drink that, and that's one meal. I make the same shake again, maybe a different type of green or a different type of fruit, change the taste, and I drink that again, and that's usually my meals. And then if I train an extra training session or if I feel a little bit tired, I might have another meal on top of that. Maybe like eat a lot of beans, beans and rice, stuff like that. Real simple. And then I try to not eat meat every day. I try to eat meat maybe like once a week. So that's pretty much my diet, I guess you could say, from day to day.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
But it works, obviously. So, I mean.
Yeah, when I started training last year in April, I was 240, and right now I'm sitting at 185. So, and I want to cut down to walk around like 175 is the goal. It's tough right now because I'm running out of weight to lose, but I'd like to walk around 175, but still be strong. I think right now I'm hitting that wall where I have to lose a little bit of muscle and a little bit of strength to get down to that size.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what's up. I think whenever me and Shawn fought, I was like 210, I think, maybe 210-ish, 220-ish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were both pretty big. That's the super fight we need to get right there again.
Let's make it happen. You guys got to wait till I come back to the States before you guys start doing this craziness.
We'll do it.
And then we go to Whataburger.
And we'll have to drive up to Tucson to get it.
Nah, that's fine. Or hey, we'll road trip to Austin. I miss Austin a lot.
Oh, Austin's awesome. That's why I'm hoping to get on that invitational next week so I can drive down and have an excuse to go to Austin. That'd be awesome.
Hit up 6th Street, go hit all the food trucks out there.
Well, see, dude, every time I've been in Austin has been for competition, so I've been cutting weight, and I haven't been able to. I gone on 6th Street, but I can't eat the night before,
Yeah.
So I like to go there without having to worry about weight, so I can enjoy like 2 or 3 days of it, not just after the competition.
To give you an idea, Shawn, you've been to Austin, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the best memory I have of Austin is going up to a food truck that had crepes and they had barbecued pork crepes.
Whoa.
I was like, what? Yes. Let me get that.
Start heavily breathing on that truck, huh?
Oh, yeah. They had to wheel me home that day. They got a wheelbarrow out of one of the local feed stores and they just wheeled me back to the hotel. But it was awesome. It was a great night.
Man.
I think my heart stopped once or twice just from trying to pump all the meat through my body. But
Jesus, dude,
it was a good time. So, shit, my brain just stopped. Okay, I'm coming off of, well, since you said you're in the Marines, I was in a staff duty shift at my 24-hour shift.
Okay.
So, I was,
Shit, that sucks.
yeah. So I'm a little wired right now, but,
Yeah, that's all good, man. What are you in? Are you over there in the Air Force or
Army.
Army? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool, man. That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Do you do like Army combatives for your guys over there?
I'm certified to teach Army combatives, but right now I'm doing jiu-jitsu on base. So they were nice
Oh,
enough
nice.
to.
Man.
Pretty much, I got asked like, "Hey," somebody saw a shirt and they're like, "Do you do jiu-jitsu?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I do." And he's like, "Hey, why don't you go over to the MWR? They're looking for somebody to teach jiu-jitsu." And so went over and they said yeah. And 3 months later, teaching no-gi twice a week on base in Wiesbaden, and then I teach 2 nights a week in Kaiserslautern.
Sick,
At
man.
Shogun
That's
Gym.
pretty badass.
I enjoy it. A lot of good
cool,
people
dude.
out here. Granted, I miss my family back in Arizona, but
Right.
I got to be out here for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I got one more question at least for George. What type of opponent makes you prepare harder? I don't want to use the word like what type of opponent do you fear or something, because
Right.
I can tell you don't fear a belt or
Right.
anything like that. So what type of guy makes you prepare harder or makes you work harder that you know you're going up against, or what type of tournament or whatever?
Man, just any tournament. I don't really. I am expecting my opponent to always be training harder than I am. That's why I'm always thinking like, you're being lazy and you suck. Like that guy. I have this imaginary guy that's always going to be at the tournament that's training 24/7. He's literally training jiu-jitsu and lifting weights every hour of the day. That's the guy I'm imagining,
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever I'm here and being lazy and I'm like, shit, I need to go train because that guy's training. So, because if I try to think of it's hard with jiu-jitsu. If you have a fight, like fighters, they know their fight months in advance, so they have a guy
Yeah.
that they know. With jiu-jitsu, we don't ever really know. You sign up for a tournament, but you don't know who you're gonna get first, and you're gonna have like 4 or 5 matches that day, maybe more. So you don't really know. So it's hard to look up your opponents in time and do that. So I think you have to like kind of create that imaginary guy that's training harder than you to make you like. If I ever have a loss, like on my phone background right now is me losing in New York. And that dude getting his hand raised, so that motivates me. Every time I look down at my phone, I see like, man, that's never gonna happen again. That'll never ever happen again. So that motivates me to train harder.
Man, this guy's a competitor, Rob.
This guy is like the Dan Gable of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, honestly. Like, Dan Gable lost, and then he went ape shit, and then he just...
That lights a fire in my ass. Like, if I go on a winning streak, and I might start getting a little bit lazy, and then I'll have like a loss like every few months, and I'll be like, fuck that, never again. And that builds. That's what's cool about. I wish, it's gonna sound weird, but I wish I lost more, because like when I lose, dude, man, I get so much better from losses. Like if I go in a tournament and I sweep everyone and I win, I didn't really learn anything about myself. Like everything that I did worked, but I knew it already worked because I have tough training partners in the gym, and I know that stuff works. But when I go against somebody and something doesn't work, man, that just accelerates my jiu-jitsu growth right there. And then I'll like sit down with my coaches and be like, why didn't that work? We watched the film over and over and over again. Like, why didn't that sweep work? Why did he pass your guard over and over again? So like that definitely helps. That's why like those losses, like I cherish them, because there's so much learning to be involved with losing.
Good. Yeah, no, I agree. You always learn more when you lose.
Yeah.
And even though it sucks. Yeah, I can't say I've had like tons of winning streaks, but usually like there have been times later like, man, I should probably lose. I need to lose, I think.
Yeah. It helps. It helps, man. It sucks, but it helps. But it's like with me, like if I lose, it's not like I'm in a bad mood or anything, or I thank my opponent, and because he just taught me a lesson. He gave me a free private is what I feel like it is. We go out there and you just showed me like exposed holes in my game for free that otherwise wouldn't have ever been exposed. So it's cool, and that's another reason why I compete a lot. I think every great out there, every great jiu-jitsu person in history has always been a great competitor, because that's the quickest way to expose your holes. It's the absolute quickest way.
True.
So yeah.
Very good. So before we end this podcast, George, is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, thank, sponsors, anybody, doesn't matter, family? I don't care. Just you can go crazy. Go crazy.
Yeah, just thank my my friends, family from here in Texas, my team, Top Game Jiu-Jitsu, and then our professor, Alan Muller, and everyone at Team Muller Jiu-Jitsu, and then my sponsor, Muller Cryo. If you're ever in the Dallas area, you want to get some cryotherapy. That's another thing I actually should have talked about for recovery is I do a lot of cryo now. I have to ice my knees a ton and ice baths and whatnot, but now that the cryo machine's there, and I'm able to cryo a lot, so that's always pretty badass.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shawn, for real, road trip.
I might have to check that. I might have to check that cryo
no
stuff
shit.
out.
Dude, it's legit, man. I have Osgood slaughters in both knees, and they're super inflamed all the time. It's nothing that hurts my training. It's super inconvenient. It just fucking hurts sometimes. But if I can cryo every day, gone. The inflammation's gone, and I can train harder, and I can sleep. For me, like, I have super restless legs at night, and, like, my girlfriend can attest to this, but, like, I move around, and I fucking push her around, and I won't stop moving. But if I cryo that day, then I can sleep real well. So
Really?
that's always pretty cool. Yeah. Should definitely check it out. If you ice bath, it's basically the same thing as an ice bath, but not as shitty or painful. Like, I suck. But, yeah. So that's it, man. That's all. That's everyone right there.
Awesome. Well, George, I really do appreciate you coming on the show today. I know that we've been working on this for a little while, but
No, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys having me, man. This is a blast. Hopefully, we can do it again sometime soon.
oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to keep tabs on those rising stars. Get them.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh yeah, he was on our show. Yeah, we know George. Yeah, good friend of the show.
Go back.
Yeah. Hey, Shawn, you got anything to say for?
No, I just want to thank George, and he's been a good friend to me since we met each other at that tournament. We're both getting started, and it's cool the people that you meet on your journey, and we weren't expecting to be doing a podcast at the time, and it just shows how jiu-jitsu connects people. Win or loss, or there's a ton of cool people in it. So I just want to thank George and wish him the best of luck as his journey continues.
Awesome. I appreciate that, guys.
Anytime. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another great show of Big Jiu-Jitsu. Don't forget, go to our store, bigjiujitsu.com, and we still have T-shirts for sale. The discount is over. Sorry, you had your chance, but we had a few people take advantage of it, so that's good. I swear to God, Shawn, you are getting a black T-shirt at some point. It will be there. It's sometime, probably between now and the next nuclear war that we'll experience.
That's fun because you sent me that gi for Christmas, which thank you for my Christmas present.
Oh,
man.
you're welcome, man. That's how I roll. Not really. I was like, shit, I need to get Shawn a gi. Because like half the gis, if like you open up my closet, you like look at half the gis, like, oh yeah, Shawn gave me that gi. Oh yeah, Shawn gave me this gi. Oh yeah, Shawn gave me that gi.
You guys wear the same size gi?
We used to.
Yeah, we used to. Shawn got smaller. I stayed the same.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm pretty much like the little brother in this relationship. He's like I got the. I was thinking about the old starter jackets. Like I got the old starter jacket back like way after it was cool, but it was a hand me down. So I'm like, no, but these gis are legit that Shawn gives me. They're amazing. And I'm the talk of the town usually when I show up with my Ninja Turtle gi or my show you roll. Definitely get some looks too. So
Nice.
Shawn's hooked me up really well with all that. But
Nice.
yeah. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, bigjiujitsu.com, like our Facebook page, follow the podcast, give us a review, and we will catch you all next week.